best effort. In this video, I'm gonna make my best effort to try to explain why I have such a happy and fulfilled life, even though I'm not necessarily a rich millionaire traveling the world, or just successful in absolutely every metric humanly possible. But yet, that's not necessarily to live a happy and fulfilled life. And I think most people don't seem to understand it, or just have a very unrealistic expectations of life, and that ends up trumping their fulfillment or the things that they get out of it. And just the expectations and the perspective that you have about life is going to shape the rest of it. And I would like to dive a little bit into it, and share a little bit what my perspective and expectations from life are, and how they affect the way I live day to day, and especially when I encounter problems, or when I encounter obstacles that are big, that are scary, that are traumatizing, maybe. And yeah, I think I have a very different perspective from the average person, and the person who might feel depressed, the person who might feel unfulfilled, or just without energies on a day by day basis, and they're just seeing the days go by like nothing. Stay in the call. You just see the days go by and just unhappy, or not even happy or unhappy, just meh, you're there, right? So let's go a little bit with the first, how can we say it, perspective or expectations? Well, let's go with perspective. One of the very first things that I see different with other people is just the idea of happiness. How does happiness looks like? How do I picture it in my head when I look happy? And a lot of my friends seem to think, or that happiness is just having no worries, or if you have worries, they're going to be small, minimal, nothing, and they're just sitting there with no worries, with a lot of money, not having to work, and they can do whatever they want, completely free. They can travel the world. They probably having a drink or two with their girlfriends, with the love of their lives, and doing whatever they want. And that seems very ideal, but I don't think that's a fair way to look at life, because life, humans have no, not only humans, no species in this earth has ever been here just to live a relaxed, comfortable life. You know, this is basically, it's unlimited amount of people and animals and creatures fighting for limited resources, and it's just all about surviving. It's everyone against everyone every single day. Maybe the fact that we live in a society and such a modern world makes us forget what life really is. We're life on us very different from the animals on the wild. We are trying to survive. It's everyone against everyone, and we are divided on tribes, and we try to just go out there and make it to the end of the day so we can rest and get ready for the next day. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we're not meant to be just sitting, relaxing, and traveling with the love of our lives and having no worries at all. Happiness comes from an absolute different place. It doesn't come from a place of comfort. It comes from a place of uncomfort. It comes from a place of pain. It comes from a place of self doubt and prolonged times of not getting what you want. That's where happiness comes from. Happiness comes from, I don't remember who did the quote, but it was, happiness comes. Happiness is at the end of your comfort zone, and that's absolutely true. Let me give you an example. I was scared, like most people of my age. I'm a millennial, and probably Gen Z have the same problem. We're scared of the phone. We're scared of making phone calls. If we get a job that requires us to make phone calls, maybe 20, 30, 40 phone calls per day, we're going to be miserable. So I was scared of the phone, and I got a job where I have to talk on the phone. I have to be calling people, and that made me step out of my comfort zone and realize it wasn't as bad as I make it in my head. And I feel more fulfilled from there. I also was scared of just training martial arts. I don't know why. I guess I didn't want the commitment to be doing something that I had to leave my house and train whenever I didn't feel like training, and that was gonna be so humbling. Small guys being able to fuck me off completely. And I started training, and I fell in love with the thing. I realized it was not as bad as I thought. It was not as tough as I thought, and it has taught me nothing but respect and discipline. And that's the key element in life, discipline. Because anything that is worth pursuing in life, whether if it's getting a good job, a college degree, starting a business, getting a girl or a man, or having a successful relationship, or getting to marriage, raising children, getting a nice body, or going to the gym and getting ripped or getting muscles, anything worth pursuing in life it's not a path of comfort and quick and easy success. It's actually a path of sacrifices, of enduring pain, of being uncomfortable, getting out of your comfort zone, and being patient and consistent, because results in any of these areas are fast or guaranteed. You have to fail, you're going to be humbled, and you have to be consistent over and over again and keep trying over and over again, getting up and getting up and getting up and doing it all over again for a long period of time. That's what most people don't do it, because most people are not patient, not willing to put in the work, or only going to do the work when they feel motivated, which is another thing that I want to touch on. Happiness comes from doing things you don't want to do. You have to pursue something that you want the results, and you are willing to put on with the pain for a long period of time to get the results. That process is going to be painful, but it's worth it, because we get those results that we want. And when we get there, we end up falling in love with the process. It ends up being worth it, and we find fulfillment, which is more important than happiness. Happiness really is a concept that I'm not sure if it exists or not. And yeah, it's all about patience, it's all about consistency, it's all about pain, it's all about being uncomfortable. And the best way to reach your goals, the best uh, we could say gasoline to reach your goals, is always going to be patience and consistency, which we could merge it up into discipline. It's always going to be discipline. And the worst fuel or gasoline to reach your goals is going to be motivation. You cannot do things only when you feel like doing them or when you feel motivated, because motivation is really like 2 days, 3 days, and maybe you're going to spend a week without doing it, or 2 weeks without doing it, or a month, and you're going to say like, I should come back to trying this. That's not the way it works, and that's not the way to reach any goal. You're gonna feel in a rabbit hole of consumption, which is the perfect path to be unhappy or unfulfilled, because you're really not doing anything with your life when you're just consuming junk food, consuming Netflix or any type of streaming shows and movies, or just consuming alcohol in party. That's not really a path to happiness. That's not happiness at all. You can totally live without watching Netflix shows or any, I don't know which streaming service is popular right now, because I know Netflix has fell off. But yeah, it's just a path of consumption, really, it's absolutely nothing. The path of creation is the path to success, but it requires a lot of humbling, requires consistency, it requires discipline, and requires an addiction to pain and failing, which is not pleasant, and we're not wired to pursue those things. But the ones who are able to do it and put up with the things and with the pain, there are the ones who are going to be able to reach their goals and feel fulfillment in life. So whatever goal it can be something small, medium, big, but you gotta be pursuing something in this life that's gonna make you feel fulfilled, and you're gonna have to go through a process of consistency, of pain, and everything else that I already mentioned. And you're gonna start feeling fulfillment in life. That's what makes us feel alive, because that's closer to the baseline of humanity and what we have been doing for thousands and thousands of years. That's pretty much what we are designed to be doing, to struggle. We are designed to be struggling and suffering to survive, to make it to the next day. That's pretty much who we are. All right. And sure, as we get older and older, we can retire from that type of life. But for the most part, for young people like me, for people in the 30s, 20s, and teens, that's pretty much how you're gonna find happiness and fulfillment in your life. That's pretty much how you're gonna thrive and improve your life on a daily basis. And it's as simple as saying, "I want this goal. I'm gonna start working toward this goal absolutely every day. I'm gonna become obsessed to achieving this goal, because it doesn't matter if you have time or energy, so you can do it. You either accomplish it or you don't accomplish it. It doesn't. The rest doesn't matter. The narrative doesn't matter. The excuses don't matter, and that's what's gonna make you happy. To be obsessed with reaching goals. It's that simple. It's hard, but it's simple. And that's most things in life are simple but hard. Like getting a good body. It's simple. Just be on a good diet and exercise regularly. It's hard. It's really hard to keep to be on a diet consistently for a long period of time and working out, even when you don't feel like doing it. But that's pretty much the path to success, man, and the path to happiness. Doing things because you gotta do them because you're a disciplined person, and not only when you feel motivated to do them. So yeah, I hopefully this is useful for you, and you can start implementing it in your life. As I said, you can just start with smaller goals so you can feel what wins feel like before you start feeling what the dirt feels like once you get knocked down on trying to reach your goals. But yeah, just start. There gotta be things that you want in this life, and start working towards them as an obsession is what's gonna give meaning to your life. pretty much. All right. Thank you for watching, and yeah, let me know if that works for you.